What's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of Taht's Anything Under the Sun. Hello, so for today's episode, it's going to be another Q&A vlog. And just like my other previous Q&A vlog, I have a special guest to help me answer some questions. And today we're going to answer the top most searched how do you questions in the web. So wala nang maangan pa. Please help me welcome my friend. Ta-da! Emma. So please help me welcome my friend. Dun, 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 Emma. So he's gonna help me answer the questions today. So unsa man itong mga questions karong adlaw, Emma?
Well, originally I was expecting green questions. You know, knowing you, I was.
Wow.
Yeah, so today we're gonna answer how do you?
Yes,
how do you questions in Google. Well, these are the most common how do you questions that were asked basically by a lot of people.
Yes.
So yeah, let's answer it.
So the first on the list is actually not a question. It's more of like a title of the song, but we are still going to share our thoughts about it, on it.
Okay.
So the first on the list is how do you heal a broken heart?
Oh.
How do you heal a broken heart?
How do you heal a broken heart? No, that's very it's very controversial, you know.
How?
How?
How is it controversial? Because I think maybe a lot of people can relate to it, and we all know that there's no definite way on how you can deal with a broken heart, because we have different types of or different ways of coping. So as for me, when I had my heart broken a few years back, I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to be surrounded with the people who love me and people I love. I didn't want to be alone because I didn't want to, think or reminisce the bad things that happened in my life. Shout out.
That's good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to cope up with broken hearts. You know, when your heart is broken, you either try to forget about it or try to maybe reminisce everything.
How did you deal with your broken heart?
Well, the last time my heart was broken.
Yeah.
Well, basically, what I did was I went through the whole process of what we call the
five stages
of
dying.
So we went through the 5 stages of
grief. Yes,
right? So
not dying.
right. So I'm not really familiar with the stages though, but
It's denial.
All right.
First is denial, and then anger. Oh no. Yeah, anger, and then bargaining, and then you get depressed, and then you get to accept that things are.
Yeah. So basically, I did go through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of my darkest moments in my life wherein I didn't really have, or I chose not to tell a lot of people about it, so I kind of went through it alone.
Mm-hmm.
So in my case, how I coped up with it was, I went through these stages and kind of thought about those negative things and thought and reflected on how I could move on and how I could probably make myself better in the future.
Yeah, some people want to be with other people to not feel alone, but others like Emma, he wanted to go through that stage of his life on his own. So he wanted to be alone and process everything and let go of the past.
Yeah, and eventually, the last stage which is acceptance. I guess that was the time wherein I decided to let my friends know. I let the sister Rakis know. With what I've been going through, and that really helped me a lot in moving on from that pain, and eventually accepted what I went through with that person. So, yeah.
I just remember the quote that it's gonna be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not yet the end. So.
Stay okay.
Yeah. The next question is, how do you handle stress? So Emma, how do you handle stress?
There are a lot of ways in handling different types of stresses, right? You know, you have stresses at work, you have stresses with perhaps with your family, with yourself, or perhaps other things. I guess for me, one of the things that I really do to make to handle stress I eat a lot.
Yeah, same. Me
So,
too.
I crave for something sweet,
Yeah.
so that whatever frustrations I have, it becomes something different. It becomes like the happy thought of eating something sweet. So at work, a lot of people will notice that I have like chocolates on my desk, and that's every day. So that means that I have, I'm stressed
every day.
Stressed out every day.
Yeah. I handle stress by, just like Emma, I eat a lot. I do stress eating a lot, and like Emma, I crave for something sweet, so I drink milk tea, or I eat chocolate, I eat donuts, anything sweet. And then I also listen to soothing music, like sounds of nature, like the birds chirping.
Right.
It's very calming.
That's actually good. I've actually found one thing that helps me de-stress during shift. I watch YouTube videos while I do my task.
Yes.
One of the things that I watch in YouTube are makeup videos.
Yeah, makeup videos.
Yes.
Oh.
It's not because I wanted to do makeup on myself. It's because of how they sound when they try to apply makeup. It's like ASMR. So I like hearing their voice when they try to
do their makeup,
and it sounds soothing and it relaxes me. So I guess that's one thing. And of course, the eating part is already obvious right here. Very unfortunate, right? But yeah.
I also watch videos. What do you call that? Motivational videos, like motivational speakers. They tell, or they talk about like how they managed to get out of depression, or like how they were successful in life. So things like that, just to keep you, just to help you lift your spirits up. So.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most effective ways for you to de-stress, I mean, I don't think a lot of people will be able to apply this because of how maybe they're not comfortable in doing, but based on perhaps the number of years I've been approached, a lot of reasons that a teammate, for example, is stressed out is because they're not able to open up about what their problems.
Yes.
What their problems are, they're going through. So I guess one of the important things that a person can remember would be to really talk about it. If you have friends, if you have families, we have different what do you call that, thresholds when it comes to stresses, and if we reach that boiling point, it might affect or it might impact your life negatively, whether it's about it impacts your work or your life or you as a person. So that's definitely one thing that I'd give someone an advice on when it comes to handling different types of stresses.
Yeah, so it's important to have someone to talk to when you feel like you can't take it anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, girl. Okay, so next question. It's actually just related to stress, because the third question is, how do you handle pressure? It's more of like a correlation with how you handle stress.
Well, pressure is something for me good when it comes to motivating myself to do better at what I do, right? Whether it's about deadlines or about something that you want to do in your life, right? So one of the things that I've experienced when it comes to pressure is, pressure is always there.
Yeah.
You can't escape that. It's inevitable. Well, one of the recent pressure that I've had is what I'll do before I turn 30.
Yeah, girl.
Right? So I made it as a motivation, and I made like a pathway of how I can handle that pressure in order for me to help myself, to achieve whatever I want to do in my life. And eventually, it's something that, as what I've said a while ago, it's something that is good because, you're able to push yourself to do better.
Yes.
Right? You're able to like tell yourself, you can do this.
Girl. So pressure is something that not really I look forward to, but just like what Emma said, it's inevitable. So when I feel pressured, I always give myself a pep talk, because sometimes the only one that's there for you is yourself. So yeah, if there's an upcoming interview or if there is an upcoming exam, what I usually do is I tell myself that I can do it, and just to be confident, because I think I'm given that challenge or opportunity because God thinks I can do it. So yeah, if I can do it, then I will do it. So yeah, give yourself
Go, girl.
a pep talk. Yeah, go girl. Be your own cheerleader.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question, this would be the fourth one, is how do you express yourself?
Well, I think that is a very good question. I think that's it's a broad question. Expression can be in a lot of forms, right? Expression if you're angry or if you're happy, excited, something like that. But one of the things that I've learned when I was still younger, which was like just a few years back, I'm so old already. Now, one of the things that I really realized when I was growing up is when you're expressing something, you just need to be honest about it.
Yes.
Right? So if you feel happy, you express that you're happy, right? And if you're sad about it, you express that you're sad about something. Because the more that you keep or whatever you're feeling inside, it might not be something. It might not create something that is perhaps productive or positive for yourself. Want a shot?
So yeah, so you have to be just true to yourself. You have to be authentic. You don't have to do things that you don't like doing just because others are doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, just be yourself. It might sound so cliche, but yeah, just have to be yourself, and the right people will love you for who you are anyway.
I definitely agree with that. As a gay person, I was gonna say a woman.
LGBTQA.
As a gay person, having that moment where you can express yourself was one of the most difficult times I've been in. You wouldn't be able to express who you love. You wouldn't even be able to express who you are. So of course, we can't force someone to express themselves in a way that they're gonna be too much open about it.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's better as well that you have like a circle of people wherein you're able to express yourself in the most honest way as possible. Because that way, you'll be able to feel good about yourself, and eventually you'll get used to having people know about who you truly are.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen to that bit.
No.
Okay, so our next question would be, how do you see yourself? So I think I see myself as someone who is crazy, weird, and adventurous. Yeah.
Wait, there's another one. A derp.
Oh yeah. A derp.
A derp.
And I'm
Just
proud.
kidding.
Yeah. I don't care. How about you? How do you see yourself?
Well, I think I see myself.
Bruh.
I see myself as someone and more determined
Yeah.
to really do something that I really want to do, right? And of course, I'm although I don't think a lot of people see it, but I see myself as someone who motivates people. And I think it's one of the things that I've also learned during as an officer, that we're being taught to motivate teammates,
Yes.
to talk about their reason to work, their ambitions, their goals, and I believe that I was able to hone that ability to motivate people and get to do to be better at what they do, to motivate them to act on the things that they need you to do in order for them to reach their particular goals.
Nandun kay mukha ako, kay crazy, weird, adventurous. They were like, motivate and all.
Eto na.
And yeah, before you motivate other people, it's also important that you yourself is motivated. Because, you know, may kwenta if motivate kag tao if, you know, you're not motivating yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's also one point is that's one of the most difficult things to do. Motivating yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's really an easier task. I realize it's an easier task for you to motivate, you know, other people because you know how to like talk to them about it. You know how to read them when it comes to their actions. But to yourself, there's challenging because you have a lot of thoughts in mind that may be a hindrance. That may be a hindrance to motivating yourself and pushing yourself to do better, right? But you just need to remember that at the end of the day, it's you who's gonna push yourself to become better at whatever you're doing, right? There may be a lot of people telling you, oh, you do this, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Again, it's you yourself, and it's yourself who's gonna take action on those objectives that you have in mind. Come on, shot.
In the end, all you have is yourself. Period. Yes. So the next question is more of like on a medical side. The question is, how do you get a UTI? Pak ganun. It's more common to girls because medical ko ha. The distance between your anus and the urethra is actually just very near. So most of the girls, when they do their thing or they urinate, they wipe the area from back to front, which is a no-no because it should be front to back, so that your urethra will not be contaminated with whatever it is there in your anus. Because most of the causes of UTI is caused by a bacteria called E. coli.
Oh wow.
Yes, and it's most common in our intestines. So sometimes it stays there in your anus as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you do the back to front motion, then
okay. So that's PSA, by the way.
What's PSA?
Okay. Public service announcement.
Yes.
You know, you need to tell them how to do these things, or else they're gonna get UTIs.
Yeah.
I think one of the bad perceptions about UTI is it's an STI.
No, it's not an STI.
Right. Whenever
it
we hear that there's someone else has an STI. I mean STI, not STI. UTI. It came from them having sex, perhaps, while in menstruation or something like that.
Because sometimes when your partner, if your partner is new, or if you had multiple sexual partners, what do you call this? STIs can be a risk factor for you to have a UTI.
So that it complicates into that.
Yeah, it's a risk factor, and for girls as well, or even for guys. If you hold on to your urine for a long time, like let's say you have the urge to urinate, and then you just say, okay, wait, I'll just urinate later. It's one of the causes for you to get the UTI as well.
Damn, so I should really approve my teammates' restroom breaks.
Yeah, because the more that you hold on to your urine, sometimes it will, stay there in your bladder or in your bladder, and then sure magstay dito ba, mas stagnant siya, sa kay mo balik siya, so mo na mo accumulate ito ang mga bacteria and all. So if you have the urge to urinate, then go ahead and do it right away. And for guys as well, if you have an enlarged prostate gland, most of the time it's hard for the urine to pass into your ureters. So it could be, one way or one risk factor for guys to have urinary tract infection. So yeah, it's important for you to drink water all the time.
And milk tea.
So that, to dilute your urine and to wash away the bacteria that's staying inside. Okay, so moving forward, our next question would be, how do you define success? Charot.
You go first.
Okay, for me, success is not about the big things only. About when we have a goal, we try to reach a goal, and then some people would only call it a success if they reach the goal. But for me, it's also the little things, the things that you take in order for you to reach that goal. For example, let's just say you want to lose 3 kilograms for the week or for the next 2 weeks. The little steps that you take, like when you go to the gym or you do a running session or you do a yoga, that's already for me defined as success, because you're doing something to reach a certain goal. Am I making sense?
I definitely get your point when it comes to those small successes. That's what they call it. As what they say, you need to celebrate small successes, right? Because those small successes will bring you to the goal that you have. I celebrate them. I still acknowledge. It's important to acknowledge those small successes, because that will allow the person to sustain whatever he or she's trying to do to achieve whatever success or that big success that he or she's trying to achieve.
True.
For me, success will not only show up. I mean, will not only can't only be defined through like money or position or educational attainment. Although these are good successes. It's definitely something that you should be happy about. That you should be
proud of.
Of the success that you're making. At the same time, for me, I define success as something that I'm satisfied with.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, if I see that a person has improvement, for example, for his or her performance as a coach, I already have that satisfaction, and I feel that it's already a success for me that I was able to help that teammate in doing that part of his job and in making sure that he or she's able to successfully do things to achieve the goals that he or she has. So that's definitely something that I keep when I'm working. If you encounter like different stresses in life, you think about those things, and it's something that pushes you forward.
Aww. And in my line of work, when you
okay, again.
Being a nurse is actually a very stressful job, and sometimes just seeing your patients smile and thank you for your service is also considered a success. So sometimes it's a little thing that matters most.
Yeah.
Diba?
When they thank you
for your service.
For your assistance, perhaps, those small things. Call it a success.
Yes. So the last question that you guys search in the web is, how do you do means? Huh?
That's one of the most confusing questions.
How do you do means? How do you do? How do you do? I think it's more of like, how are you? The way I understand it is like, it's more of like an incomplete, what do you call this, sentence? I don't know how do you call it, but it says here, how do you do means?
Yeah, I guess the question means that he or she's asking, the person is asking, what does how do you do mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's more of like, how are you? Like, what's up with you right now? How are things?
Yeah, it's like hello or greeting, or perhaps it's a basic form of greeting. We don't really use it. We don't really use it here.
Yeah.
In the Philippines.
It's more of like a conversation starter.
Right. So it's like what you're doing or how have you been, and it's an open-ended question that would allow the other person to talk about what he's been doing, etc., etc.
Yeah, so we've answered all the questions, most search questions in the web, and that's all the time that we have. And we want to thank you guys so much for watching us answer these questions.
So you should put something in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up.
Yeah, if you like this video, give
subscribe.
it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions, just comment down below. And if you want, then you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for my 47 subscribers from 2.
Don't worry, I'll add one. Let's have it 48.
Alright, perfect. So thank you guys so much and see you again in my next video. Bye!
Bye!